Hi everybody, once again you are welcome to my YouTube tutorial. In this video we'll be talking about supply chain growth and profitability tracker. We have 4 dashboard that we have to build and to talk on. The first one is the executive overview, as you can see it here. The question, which is the business question, is the business growing or decline, and is performance healthy? So that is the first question I was supposed to answer. Then we go to the second dashboard. And the second dashboard is about operation performance, and which the business question is how efficient are we executing the supply chain? As you can see, this answer the whole question. Then we go to the third dashboard, which is supply and the geography insight. And the business question is where are problems coming from? As you can see, this also answered where our problems are coming from. Then we'll go to the last, which is the risks and the cost analysis. Then the business question is where are we losing money or efficiency? So you can see we have each dashboard for each category of people. So we go back to the executive overview, and you know in executive dashboard doesn't contain much chart, just have a simple KPIs and some probably one or two chart for you to give to the executive. So, and we could see we have the business question already answered, which is the business shows mixed performance with fluctuation in growth driven by change in revenue trend, profitability, and delivery efficiency. Now, take a look at this. You can see we have increase, we have our profit margin, which is our total revenue, then we have our growth status. They are interested in this growth status and how are we are moving. Let's go to the first one, January 2023. You can see we have a stable growth. By the time we go to February 2023, we still have a growth stable. Then March, you can see we are losing. So, and through this, you can see for our total revenue, we have minus 8% compared to what we have in the previous year. Though our profit margin might sound as, oh, but we have a good profit margin, which is 69.99%, approximately 70% profit margin. But look at the growth status. We are losing when we compare it to what we have in the following year. So these are part of what we'll be looking at in this tutorial. My name is Peter Analytics, and if you are new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, please comment, and please also share, and also please try to also subscribe because this helped me to do more of this video to people that actually need this. Then we go to the data set that we are going to use. We have our data set here. I'm also going to be providing this raw dataset for you to follow along. You can see the dataset is actually to Delta. We have incomplete dataset here that we have to work on, that we have to clean, and we are going to clean this dataset in Power Query. I will be showing you this step by step on how to do it. And by the time we are done with that, then we have to go back to after we are done with the executive overview, then we go back to operational performance, we go to supply and geography insight, then we go to risks and the cost analysis. So let's go to our dashboard. Now I have a new Power BI opened already, which I titled Growth Tracker. Then I'm going to make this one, instead of page 1, I'm going to make it as reports. So that will make it more unique. So that is going to be a report. And this is not just going to be a report because this should be executive overview. So I'm going to name this an executive overview. So it's better I do it now. So this is going to be the executive overview because this is the first dashboard that we are going to be building, and which is going to be for the executive. So we have this already. Then we have our data. We go to get data. I can as well import my data from Excel as long as it's in Excel. Import my data from SQL Server, then paste a blank. It depends on the data you are having. But let's go here. Generally for everybody that you are a learner or whatever. So we go to workbook. Then already I have my data supply chain data set here. Then I'm going to open it. Then we allowed it to load. It may take some time because of probably the large data set or because of what I'm having on my machine. So we take it a bit and we wait a bit for it to fully load. As you can see, then we click here, because without clicking here, nothing will going to show. So by the time we click here, we already have our data sets are loading already. Then we have load, we have transform. If I should load this data directly, I'm going to find myself in this space. But instead of that, because the data is dirty and I have to clean this data, so what should I do? I have to click on transform. By the time I click on the transform, then it's going to open the Power Query editor. Then from the Power Query editor, this is where we are going to clean our data. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it as growth tracker. So I'm going to make it growth tracker dataset, growth tracker dataset. Growth tracker, then I'm going to make it dataset. So you can just name it whatever you like. So the first thing we are going to be doing, I'm going to be starting from the last angle here. As you can see, we have two things to deal with here. Number one, we have a null number. Then number two, we have the data set. This is not the correct heading that should be. You can as well go to your transform. You can also detect data type. So here you can see we are having a mixture of text and a number. So we can first of all change it to text. We can also first of all clean the number. So we come here, we open here, we have a null that we don't want, then we remove this. Then we have NA as well that we don't want. So this is removed. So we have this cleanup already. Then we go to our dataset type. We see we can have the old number. Then we are going to make this old number. So that is already sorted out. Then we go to the second aspect of it. This is the data type is correct, which is test. So we come back here. We have a no number, so we are going to remove this because it's also not needed. Then we come back to our transport model. Our transport mode. So we can see this is already in test. So we remove this. Then when we remove this, you can see we have road, and also we have inconsistency. Let's see, we have rail, and by the time we look forward again, I think we should have another rail, which should be in small letter on. So what we are just going to do, either we leave it like this or we turn this to a capital letter. So when we open here, let's see, we can see we have rel, which is a small letter. We can turn this to a capital letter. So we can do that later. So let's leave this and we come back to the warehouse. We have our warehouse also. Then we have our warehouse 1, warehouse 2, warehouse 3. So we are going to click OK. Already we will remove that. Then by the time we check this warehouse 1 and warehouse 2, so we are going to replace this with a normal format. As you can see, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to right click. I'm going to replace value. Doing that, this will help me to automatically clean on it. Then I'm going to have, instead of having it WH1 in a small letter, I'm going to have WH in a capital letter. And that is going to replace it with this. And let's see what will happen. As you can see, so we have a unique number here. We have warehouse 1, warehouse 2, and we have a warehouse 3. Then we go to our total cost. Our total cost, everything is okay. No empty, no error. Then we move to our unit price. In our unit price, as we can see, unit price is also okay. The data type is also okay, which is decimal. That is good. Then we move to our quantity. You can see we're having a mixture of text and a number. So first of all, we have a null, we remove it, and we move down a bit to see, okay, we have a 10. We don't have to make this a 10. I can easily replace this with the number 10. Already we have a 10 here, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to remove this. It's not needed, so I'm going to click OK. So already we have that completed already. Then I'm going to turn this to the normal, which is, this should be give us a whole number. So we have the total whole number already. You can see we have a clean data there. Then I move forward to our delivery dates. In our delivery date, let me see what we have before then. Okay, let me remove it. But before that, let's see, we have empty, that is 1%. So this also helps you to know how quality your data or how quality your data is. And for you to know this, we'll go to view. From view, you can see I already click on column quality. So when you click on column quality, it shows you this. When I unclick, you can see it disappears. But when I click it back, we have everything perfectly done. Then what next is we go back to our transform. Then we go back to delivery dates already. We don't need this. Then I have to scroll down to see probably I still have any inconsistent format. Everything is okay. So we click okay, so everything is perfectly. We don't need the ship date, so I'm going to remove this. Let me remove this. Then after removing it, and I'm going to rename it. So in case if it's needed, I'm just going to put remove ship date. So in case I needed it, I can easily go back, remove ship date. So this is ship date that I remove. So it already tells me, okay, what exactly was removed from there. Then I go back to other date. We need the other date. You can see we have empty, which is 1%. So we go to there and I'm going to remove. This is the node. This is the empty that we have. Then I'm going to click OK. So that is already done. We have the data clean in the aspect. Then we go to our country. We have the test is okay. The data type, which is test, that is fine. Then we don't want this, so this will be removed. Then we have a clean one. So we go to our supplier, and for the supplier, the same thing. We have no number, so we are going to remove it. So we have supplier S, supplier XYZ, and we are going to do the same thing. As you can see, we have supplier X with capital letter, and we have supplier S with small letter. So we are going to replace this with the normal capital letter. So we are going to have supplier X now with capital letter. So as usual, so we are going to, let me remove the R. So we are having the X. So everything is okay now. Let me see if there's inconsistency. Okay, everything is perfect. Then you can see. So when we go back to check, you can see we have accurate Y, X, Y, Z. Then we move further to category. In our category, we have a null, so we remove the null that we don't need. That is also done. Then we go back to products. Then we have this type of product. We have null also. We remove it. And looking at it vividly, you could see we have which we get A, then we get capital A. So we're also going to replace this with the normal, something that we have to do. So we have the widgets in the capital A. So this will replace everything. So let's see. Already we have this done. So then we have everything perfectly done already. So the next thing is we go to the last but not the least, which is the ID. You can see we have 2% empty. Then we go to look for the 2% empty. This is 2% empty. We'll scroll down in case there's anything wrong. Nothing more. Then we close this. So as you can see, we have our data working. We have 100% valid data. Then after that, we go back to our home. Then from the home, we click close and apply. Then this will bring us back to our data model where we are going to begin to analyze our data. So we wait a bit for it to, as you can see, we have our data set fully loaded. Then the next thing we are going to do, we have two different type of data. Of date, we have delivery date, then we have the order date. We go to our table view. From our table view, we are going to create a new date. So we have this, then we go to new table. We are going to
working on it.
So we are going to create a new table for our, then we are going to name it edit. We are going to name our table edit. So we are going to have our date equal to, then we are going to bring it down. I wouldn't want to copy. I will have copy one after the other. First of all, we are going to use var. So let me remove all this and let me put from this. So we are going to use what we call var. We have this. So what does var mean? Just var is a name that we can call back. So we have our var, and our var is going to give us minimum of year. So we are going to have min year. So that is what our var is going to give us. So we have a var, and that is going to give us equal to, so we are going to have what we call year. So we are going to have our year. Then we are going to call it a year. So we have the year already. Then in this year, we are going to have the minimum of year. Then we are going to have minimum of year. And we are going to have our order dates. That is what we are going to be using. So we're going to have a minimum of year. Then we are going to have what we call our growth order date. So let's go to the order date. We have the order date here. Then we are going to click cover back. So that is going to be double already. Then we move back again. Then we are going to have our var again as well. You should be able to also guess what will happen next. So we are going to have our maximum here. So it's going to be our capital letter. So we're going to have maximum here. Already we have our minimum year of every date we have in order date. We are picking the minimum of the order date. Then we are also picking the maximum of the order date. So we are also going to have what we call year as well. So we are going to have year. Then we are going to, as well as we can just copy this, what we have here. I can just, instead of me retyping, I can just copy everything back here. Then I'm just going to put it here. So this will make the job more easier. Then instead of minimum here, I'm going to have maximum. Then already have the maximum here. So I'm having maximum of order dates. Then the next thing I'm going to return. What did I want to return? I'm going to return the column. So let's see as we move on. So I'm going to return. Then from the return, I'm going to have hard columns. So I'm going to have hard columns. What does this do? These are the columns I wanted to see. I already have, you can see hard columns, the table, which already is our dates, the name one, the expression. So when you are using that, so you are using a table or whatever we are using hard column, already this put you through on what you are supposed to know. It guides you through. So already we want to return something from the table. What do we want to return from the table? We want to return, so we want to return some aspect of the table. So I had column, let me take this back. Okay, we are going to have calculate. Now we want to use our calendar. We want to return calendar. So these are the calendar that we want to. So we are not going to use calculate table. We are going to use calendar. And in calendar we have year, we have month, we have whatever you need. So in the calendar, so we are going to have what we call dates. You can see it takes step by steps because this is the return that we want. We want to return a column in calendar. Then we have our minimum year is, so in our minimum here, that we want to return. So we have our minimum year. Then what do we want to return in our minimum year? We want to return the year. First of all, they want to return the month, which is going to be January. They want to return the day, which is also going to be January 1st. So we have that done already. Then we are going to have our date for the maximum year. So I can just copy this, put a comma here. Then I can just have this copied already. Then I'm going to just copy. Then I'm going to just paste it here. Then I'm just going to make this maximum here. Instead of minimum, I'm going to have this as the maximum here. So I should have my maximum year here. So, and the same thing, we are going to have our year. Then I'm going to have the month. And the month is going to be the 12th month. Then I'm going to have the last day of the 12th month, which is going to be the 31. So you understand now. First of all, we have our date, which is the minimum year. We are taking the minimum year of other dates. Then we are taking the maximum date of the other date. So you can see the minimum is the year January, which is the month first. Then we are also having there's something the maximum. So we don't need the calendar here. Permit me. I think I copied with calendar, so the calendar will be gone. Then there's something here will be gone already. So everything is final. So next, what do we need? We want our year. So we want to see our here. So what do we do? So we have our double column. So this gives us our year. We have our year back. This is our year. So, and our year is going to give us our year because we need the year of the date. So we have our year and we are going to have our year, and our year is going to give us the year of the date that we have. So we have our dates. So we are getting the year of this, our date data. So we have the year of our date, and we have our year. Then we are going to have what we call our year dates. So we are going to have our dates. So that should give us exactly what we needed. So we have our dates. And then I hope nothing's wrong. Then no, we have our dates complete. Then we have so permit me to use this back to change the keyboard. Then we have this. So this is actually complete. So I just want to say why are we having this is our year unexpected parameter year. So we have the year. Good. So, oh, sorry. This shouldn't give us a full capital letter. Yeah, this is right. So we have this. We have minimum year. We have our year. We have this unexpected expression year. That doesn't mean. So we have our year dates. So this is should correct. Then we go to our month. Then we have our month. And when we have our month, we also have the semicolon. Then we have this. Then I can just copy this. Before then, I'm going to have what we call month number. So I should have this as the month and number now, so that will make sense. First of all, we have the month number. Then we have our month already. Then I can just copy the dates. So our month date and that solved the problem already. So I can just come here and have our dates. Copy this, and I'm going to have this with this here. Then I'm going to remove the back one. Then already we have this. Then before we go with that, we have to put the month code. When we want to have a full month, we use MM, but when we have to have a short month, in that case, I'm going to use a short month. So that's what we're having. So you can see. So when we use the full one, we have the full month name. So when we use the short one, we have the short month name. So this is what we do down. So I'm going to pause the video and write every. We have our year, then we have our month number, we have our month, which is format, this one. I just decided to make it a long month, but we can also decide to make it a short month back. Then we have the quarter. Then this is how we write our quarter. We have our quarter to be this. Then we have our quarter. Then we have our month year sort, which our month date times 100 because we need to add it together. Then we have our finally, our month and year date. So I'm going to make this one back to be double M. So we are done with that. So I'm going to click OK.
Working on it.
So that is already done. As you can see, we have our calendar completely. We have July, we have January, we have everything. Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to sort this out. But before then, let's go back to our table view. So here we have our dates, our main data, and here we have our data. Then the next thing we are going to do, we are going to connect the relationship together. So we are going to make sure we have a relationship with our data. So let's go back to the relationship view. I'm going to close this. Then I'm going to pick from the date to date. So remember we are using other dates. So I'm having this our date calendar and I'm having this. So this is going to give us many to one. So I'm going to bring this other dates and I'm going to pick it to these dates. So this will give us many to one. You have many to one. That is what we need.
Working on it.
So let's see what is also already we have this. So this is perfectly done. We have our many to one already. We've already sorted that out. So we can just close this. Then we go back to our table view. Then I can also close this. Then I don't actually need this anymore. So everything is complete here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort this out. Maybe let me go to month stats and let me go to month himself. Let me go to month. Then I'm going to go to sort. So look for sorts in your own calendar and in your own dashboard and sort this out by year and month. So that would be the best thing for us to do next, which we can also try to do now. So we go to our month, then we sort it out. So we can also mark this as calendar. So we go back to our table view. Then we begin to create our analysis. Then before that, we should create something. We should insert our table. Then I need a new table for the KPIs. So this is where we are going to store our KPIs into it. Then we can actually go back to our model. Then from there, we can take new measure, mark as table, new parameter, age, all those things that you actually need. So we go back to home. Then from home, then we begin to create our measure one after the other. So we go back to our table view. From our table view, let's sort this out because we may need it. Let's go to this our sorts. I'm going to sort this by month number. So look for the month number.
Working on it.
So this is going to be sorted by month number already. That is already done. Then I'm going to go back to home. Then from home, I'm going to create a new table. And from there, I'm going to create what we call mayor. I'm just going to name this. Just name this mayor. That is, I'll make it all mayors. So nothing more to do, then I'm going to load it. Then from there, I'll go back to let's allow this to load. Let's see it here first before, okay? We are having our mail.
Working on it.
Then we go to, we're still waiting a bit. Then we go to our report view. Then you can see we have mail. Then we come back to our table. This is the executive view overview. Now, the business question is this: is the business growing, or is business growing or declining, and is performance healthy? So first of all, we are going to copy this. I'm going to copy this to put it in our new dashboard. Remember, this is the executive view, so I wouldn't want to start making this from the beginning. So permit me to copy this. So we are having this. This is the executive view. So we go back to having our business question. I'm also going to copy the business question as well. So I'm going to copy the business question, then I'm going to paste it back here. So we have the business question here. So the first question is the business growing or declining, and is performance healthy? You may ask yourself, how are we going to know if the business is growing? How are we going to know if the business is declining? That is what the executive just want to know. You know, the executive is not telling you create 30 KPIs. I want to say 20 KPIs. The question they just need is the business growing? Is the business growing or declining? And is performance healthy? Three things. Number one, is the business growing? Number two, is business growing or decline? Which is one question, two questions in one. Then is performance healthy? So how are we going to know? So first of all, we are going to create our total revenue. That is going to be our first measure that we are going to create our total revenue. Then we go to, remember we have our measure here. So we come to this, click the three dots. Then we have our new measure.
Working on it.
Then from this, our new measure. So we are going to have what we call our total.
Working on it.
Our total revenue. So we just have to wait. I'm using a language undergrad. So we are going to have our total revenue. Our total revenue now. So in our total revenue, we are going to sum the quantity times the unit price. When you come here, you can see we don't have anything like the total revenue here. So you can't just say sum total revenue, because we don't have exactly a particular column called total revenue. So we are going to use what we call sum S. And you know, sum S is used when you want to sum up more than one. You can see sum S, the table and the expression. So that is all. It will return the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in a table. So that is the sum. Then we are going to use our quantity. So we have our quantity, and we just look for our quantity here. First of all, let's go to our growth data. We have our growth data sets, and we should have I said we are going to sum the quantity plus the unit price. So I'm going to bring this down. Then I'm going to also bring this down. I hope my keep okay. This okay. I'm also going to bring this down as well. Then I'm going to have our growth data set, which is. Then I'm going to have this. Then also I'm going to have our growth data quantity, because we are this, because that is what we are summing. Then I'm going to have it times with our quantity. Let me see, okay. Then we are going to have our growth, then with our unit price. So we have the unit price. So this will actually give us the total revenue because we are having our quantity then with our unit price. So matching it together, this gives us the total revenue.
Working on it.
So by that, we've already sorted out the first one. Then what I'm going
Working on it.
I'm going to attach currency. Then I'm going to use this currency into it.
Working on it.
Then I'm going to make it 0. So let me make it 0.
Working on it.
Let me make it 0.
Working on it.
So we see this now. So I'm going to just click out. Then I'm going to bring our total revenue out for us to see. So the KPIs. So we have this. Then I'm going to use a card for it. So we have our total revenue to be 2 million. So we have our total revenue to be 2 million. So that is not bad at all. Then what I'm going to do next is
working on it.
So I'm going to change the voice underground. So we have our total revenue to be 2 million. Then the next thing that we are going to do is working on it. So we have our total revenue to be 2 million. Before then, I would like to see what is our total quantity do we have? Our total quantity. We have our quantity to be 7,000 quantity. I think our quantity should be more than this. So because we lost some data, so we're having our total quantity to be 7,000. So I remove this. Then I check the data back again. So I have to recheck the dataset and realize that there's some rows that I shouldn't have deleted that I deleted. So that was why I know it shouldn't be 2 million when I compare to the first one that we did. So I have to correct it. So now we have 10.91 million. Then what I want to do is I don't want to leave it this way. So I want to, let me go to currency. Let me try to apply currency to this. I thought I had currency to it the other time. Please.
Working on it.
Excuse me for the underground voice that is working in Power BI. So if you like it, you can also use it. So I'm going to, from here, go to my card. Then we have everything, border. I think shouldn't have border now. Let me go to colored value. The color value, let me go to the value. And let me go to, should I use everything like that or should I leave it like 10 point something million? Let me see. Okay, I can just leave it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I wouldn't want to start designing from scratch. So I'm going to have this here. Then I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to add this to it. I think it should work. Now it works. I want to avoid designing from this beginning, so that's why. So I'm having the 10.9 million euro here. That is the total revenue. Then the next thing that we are going to do is this, because the question says already we have not already answered the business question. So this is just the question: is the business growing or decline, and its performance healthy? So first of all, we are going to create what we call another measure, and this measure is going to get us through to actually know if our something is really growing or not. So this will give us an insight into it. So we are going to know by this is if our revenue is growing or our revenue is declining. So we are going to create a measure for the revenue growth status. So with this, we are going to know. Then we go back to our measure. Then I'm going to remove this column because I don't actually need this column any longer. So I'm going to delete from model. Please be careful that you are not deleting the total revenue from it. So we have this already deleted.
Working on it.
So I'm going to
Working on it.
So it's still working on it. So I'm going to have the new measure again.
Working on it.
Then this new measure I'm going to limit revenue growth percentage month over month. The reason why I'm using this voice something is because sometimes I may not really know that it's still working.
Working on it.
Then I'll just try to click on it. So with this, it really guides me through. So I'm going to have what we call revenue growth. So we're going to have our revenue growth percentage, and we're going to have it month over month, month over month. So what does this teach us? You may ask, what are we using this for? This guides us through to actually know comparing our month over month to what we are actually doing, because they want to know, is the business growing? So this is what teachers, the executive is interested in. So we are going to have our VAR as usual. So we are going to have VAR, and the VAR is going to give us, we are going to name it as current revenue. So our VAR name is current revenue. So that is our VAR. So we have our revenue growth percentage month over month. So we have our VAR current revenue. And current revenue is going to give us our total revenue. So we have our total revenue. So already we saw that. Then we are going to calculate our total revenue now. So we move this down. Let's come down. Then we're going to have our VAR. Remember our VAR. So we are going to have another VAR which is going to give us previous revenue, because we are calculating month over month. So we are going to have previous revenue. So we have our previous revenue, and our previous revenue is going to give us our total. So we are going to calculate this time around. So we have this. So let's calculate already. Indent its place. So we have calculate. So what are we going to calculate? We are going to calculate our total revenue, because we need our revenue. We need month over month. So we have our total revenue, the first one. Then we are going to use what we call date hard. Now, what are we trying to do? We want to calculate our revenue growth month over month. You can see we have calculated already. Expression is the revenue, then the filter. The filter that we are going to apply is going to be date hard. Date hard. Just look for date hard. You can see the date hard here. That is the expression we are going to use. So already the date hard is going to give us the dates, the number of interval, then the extension. This is what we are going to do. So we are going to have our dates. So that is the first thing we are going to have, which is the date that is already sorted out. Then the next thing is going to be, we are going to have our date. So we are going to have our date. So that will guide us through what we actually need. Then we are having our date now. So that means this is what we are having. We are having our date. So that's already done. Then we are having -1. I hope you understand what -1 actually means. Let me see if I'm using it. have to change the language of my keyboard because I'm using keyboard of many language. So we are going to have -1. Then next we are going to have our months. So now let me explain this before I move further. Let me cover it first, and also let me move down and cover it again. Now we want our revenue growth percentage month over month. So we want to compare our previous revenue with our current revenue. Now we have our VAR, our current revenue, which is total revenue. Then we have our previous revenue. Then how do we calculate our previous revenue? We have to calculate our previous revenue from our current revenue. And our previous revenue is going to give us the total of our current revenue. Then we are going to use filter. We are going to use our dates. We are going to -1. So whatever we have now in our current revenue, we are going to minus it 1. So when we are having January, when we are having February, we are going to have -1, which is going to give us January. So when we are having January, we are going to be having December. So this is actually what we are doing. So -1 of months. So that's what we are doing. So then we move further. Then the next thing is we are going to do is we are going to return. So what are we going to return? Then this is where the work begins again. So we are going to use if. Now we are going to make it if already. Let's move it down. So we are going to have if is not blank. If not blank, let's look for not if is not blank. Yeah. So if not blank, then give us previous revenue. If it's not blank, we need previous revenue. So that is our first previous revenue. Our previous revenue. So we have our previous revenue. So if it's not blank, give us previous revenue. Then we are going to divide. So what we're going to do, we are going to divide our current revenue minus our previous revenue. Then we are going to have our previous revenue, because whatever the current revenue is showing, when we filter it, we want to be seeing it in our previous revenue. So the total revenue is the normal KPIs. Then whatever is showing a percentage is going to give us the previous one. So we are interested in the previous revenue. So we are going to divide our current revenue. So we have current revenue minus our previous revenue. Then previous revenue. Then previous revenue. Otherwise, give us blank. So that's what we are going to add at the back. Otherwise, let it be blank. So otherwise blank. Then we cover it. So again, revenue growth month over month. We have our current revenue, we have our previous revenue. After that, we calculate our previous revenue. We are minusing 1 from this. Then we want to return if it is not blank. If the current revenue is not blank, give us previous revenue. If it is not blank, what we need is previous revenue. Then we want to divide our current revenue minus this. Then give us this. Otherwise, give us blank. So let's try it.
Working on it.
Let's try what we...
Working on it.
So don't forget to put it in percentage when it's fully done. Then we're going to put it in percentage.
Working on it.
Then we are going to...
Working on it.
Okay, let's wait a bit. Still working on it. Still working. So we are done. So we can close this. Then let me pick our this. Let me put it in a card. So we have 3.9% revenue growth. So let's just leave this. No, we can see except we have a filter. So this is where the filter comes in. Then I'm going to pick our slicer. Then I'm going to have a slicer here. I wouldn't want to be designing everything from beginning. So permit me to have this month here, slicer here, because I'm going to make it permanent. Then I'm going to remove this. So let me see if we have the same number here. To make sure I'm using the correct one, I think that should be fine. So now look at this, and also look at this. We have our January. You can see blank because this is January 2023. That means we don't have anything in December 2022. So this is not working. Now let's go to February 2023. You can see because already we have January 2023. So February, that means it's giving us the result for February. Giving us the result for January, so we have 2% growth. So let's go to March. You can see in February, it's giving us the result for February. So in March, we have this, then in February. Now let's go back to this. 459. Then let's go to March. 422, you can see -8. So that is what we actually want to do. So we want to compare our growth month over month to see January this year compared to, do we grow, do we remove, so we can see we actually reduce. So what we are going to do, we are going to have this, then I'm going to design this very well. So let me go back to here. Then I'm going to have, let me go to the callout value. And let me remove the label. I don't need the label. And let me go to the value. I'm going to reduce it to, so reducing it, I'm going to reduce it. 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 So that should be okay. Let me see. Then I go back to, there's no background. Let me go back to general. I remove it. Let me go to effects, background. I'm removing it. So let me reduce it a bit. So let me go back to visual. Let me go back to the card. Border, no. Divert, no. Background, no. Then let me now go back to callout value. For the callout value, let me try to make it 12. So I'm having this. So I can easily pick this. When I put it here, let me see. So I think this is still having some background. Is it having a background or no? Let me still try to reduce it further. I just have to make it so small. So small. So small. And let me see. Put no. Let me use light. Good. So we have this. So, and I'm going to expand this a bit. Then let me have this. If I can. This is 3.6. So I want to remove some things from it. Let me say general. The title, data format is good. No effects. I've reduced every effect. So there's no effect remaining. No effects, no title, no property. Let me try to. No. So let me have this. So let me have this. So I'm having this here. I'm having this here. So this still have to be number one. Let me go back to this. Let me go to callout value 22. There's something I wanted to do. And let me go back to in 1000. I don't want to use 1000. Let me go to effects, shadow. Let me remove the shadow. That is shadow affected. Stay. So let me go back to the shadow and put it back. Let me put back the shadow. So I want to make this so small. So small to the extent that, let me see the card. Everything about the card is good. Let me see the layout. Color size. Okay, maybe that would make it more smaller. Already, we are going to adjust this as time goes on. So, and let me try to put this one here. Okay. So, already as you can see, now let's go back to this. So, you can see, we lose. Now, this has not fully answered the question that we need. You may ask me why. Then I'm going to tell you why. This has not fully answered the question that we need. Because you can't just give this to, you can't just give this to an executive and say it still doesn't answer our question. Now let's go to our profit margin. We want to calculate our profit margin, and let me try to copy this and put this here. So, and I'm going to name this profit margin. Let me go to the title, general. Let me take this as a profit margin. Profit margin. So we're having this as a profit margin. Then I'm going to remove the revenue from it. Let's leave it that way. Now, remember, is the business growing or declining? And is performance healthy? Before we could be able to answer this question, we are going to our profit margin in percentage. The profit margin in percentage is also going to give us our total revenue, because that is what we are going to use for that. So we go back to our mayor. Then we have our new mayor.
Working on it.
So already. Let me remove this. Okay, after that I will remove
Working on it.
I will remove this filter after it. Then we are going to have what we call profit margin. We have our profit margin in percentage. So we have equal to, then we are going to have our var as well. So we have our var, then we are going to have our revenue. We are going to name the var as revenue. Then it's going to give us our total revenue. So we are going to have our total revenue that is for our first var. Then we come to our second var, which is going to be our costs. We have our var because we want to calculate our profit margin. Already there is no particular column here that shows profit margin, so we can calculate profit margin directly from here. So what should we do now? We have our var. So in this our var, we are going to have our cost. So our var is going to name it as cost, and this is going to give us also our total cost. Remember, we have our total costs. So before then, we need to calculate, we need to create a measure that name total cost. So I'm going to just leave this.
Working on it.
So that wouldn't be a problem. We come back to it. No problem about that. Let's go to a new measure.
Working on it.
So let's go to a new measure. From the new measure, we are going to have our total cost.
Working on it.
So because without that, there's no how we can create our profit margin. So we have our total cost here. And
Working on it.
And okay, we have to wait a bit. So on our total costs is going to give us. So we have our sum of our total costs. So that's what our total cost is going to give us, nothing more. We have total costs. So
Working on it.
So that is done with our total costs. And we are going to
Working on it.
We are going to have our currency in it.
Working on it.
We are going to test it now.
Working on it.
So let's test our total cost and let's see what our total cost actually have. Then we have our total cost here. You can see this is the purpose of creating measures, so that because we could be able to reuse it. So we have our total costs, and this is our total cost. To be really sure that what we are doing is correct, so we take our total cost here and compare them together. So you can see we have the same thing. So our measure is correct. So this is correct as well. So we go back to our profit margin now. So we are going to have this to be our total cost. So we have our total costs, and we are going to, let's assume, now assuming you have a measure, some supplier or a total cost. So if you don't have a total cost, you may ask me. The reason why we are using this is because we assume we have a total cost. So that is how we can calculate our profit margin. So I'm going to put it like this. Assuming you have a measure called total cost. Otherwise, it won't be able to work. Now, already we are done with that. So, what should we do? Yes, so what should we do now? We go back to, we have to put return. So what do we want to say? Because when you use var, you have to return. So what do we want to return? We want to divide revenue minus costs, then revenue. Otherwise, give us a 0. So we are going to have divide our total revenue. So we are going to divide our revenue, which is our var, So we have our revenue. So we have, this is our VAR. So we have our revenue minus our cost. So we have our cost. Then what are we trying to do? We are dividing our total revenue by cost. Maybe if anything happen, give us revenue. We need revenue back. Otherwise, give us 0. That's all. So we are done with that. Then we create.
Working on it.
Okay. So now we've already
Working on it.
profit margin. So we are going to check our profit margin now. To this, then we'll go to our profit margin percentage. We have not put it in a percentage, so we have to go back and put it in percentage.
Working on it.
So let's see what we are going to have. We have 64.
Working on it.
Without anything. Now we are still going to redesign this so that wouldn't be a problem. Already we have our profit margin. Yeah, the executive might look at, okay, this is our profit margin, but how will I still know if this is really growing? Because it asks, is the business growing or declining? Already we are able to answer that. And is performance healthy? How are we going to know if our performance is healthy or our performance is not healthy? That is where we'll come to growth status. So I'm going to have this now. I'm going to build this and I'm going to bring this here. So this is going to answer the third question. The second question is performance healthy. So I'm going to rename this as our growth status. So I'm combining, I'll come down here and I'm going to name it growth status. This is our growth status. So that's good. Then I'm going to remove the profit margin from it. Now, what are we going to do about our growth status? We want to know. This will give us an insight into how the business is done. Now we are going to create another measure. Then we are going to have it as new measure.
Working on it.
Then from there, we are going to have our growth. So here we are going
Working on it.
As by the time I'm going to be doing the second video, I'm going to will have removed this. So growth. So we're having our growth status. And our growth status is going to give us. So already we're also going to have var as well. And the var, we are going to name it as growth. So that's going to be our growth status. So we have it as growth. I have to plug this laptop back. So thank you. So we're going to have our growth. That is going to be the number for status. So yeah, and it's going to give us our revenue, which is going to be our revenue growth percentage month over month. So you can see everything still connect together. In order for us to get our growth status, we have to use our growth revenue month by month. Now we have that, then return. So what do we want to return? Exactly what are we expecting to do? We want to now we are going to use what we call switched. Indent. Then we have our switched. Now, then we are going to use true. First of all, before we put anything, switched expression, value, result 1, result 2, otherwise X. So what is our expression? Our expression, we want it to be true. Then we want to have true as our expression. So you can see we have our true. Already we are done with the expression. Always try to look at anything you are using, read it, it will give us an insight into it. Then the next thing that we are going to have is We come down and we are going to have our growth. Remember, we have our growth, which is our var. So we have our growth. And what are we doing? If our growth is greater than, because of the keyboard I'm using, I wouldn't know. Okay. Okay, I think I got it right. If our growth is greater than 0.05, what are we going to say? Then we are going to make it growing. You understand? So we are going to say, okay, if it's more than that means we are growing because it's more than 0.5. So we are growing. I think that should be interesting, right? Otherwise, okay, here we still have to put a comma here. So we are going to make it growing when I need a logo to put the logo there. So I'm going to put this logo here. Then that should answer the question that we need. So it's giving us green. You can use anything that you want. Then, you said we want true. Then we are still going to have our growth as well. So we are still going to have our growth. This time around, if our growth is greater than equal to minus 0. Let's just say 0.2. If greater than minus 0.2, then already we know that we are losing. No, minus 0.2, no. And then if it's greater than minus 0.2 and the growth as well, and the growth is less than, and the growth is less than equal to, and is less than equal to 0.5. 0.05. That means we are stable. I think that is interesting, right? It means we are what? We are stable. So we have this as a stable growth. So it means we are stable. But I would like to have an icon to indicate we are stable. So this is it. So what are we saying here? If our growth is greater than and equal to 0.02, and at the same time the growth is less than 0.05, that means we are stable. So if it's greater than minus this and at the same time this, that means we are stable. Then the last but not the least, growth again. If our growth is less than, if our growth is less than now minus 0.02, if the growth is less than this, then what we know next is we are losing. We are losing. And I believe we wouldn't want to lose. So this is just all we are trying to say. So we are going to have losing, then we should have an icon for that. I would like to put an icon that shows that red. So let me see, this one is showing red, unexpected hand. That should be a big problem. Minus greater than equal to minus 0.2. Okay, so that's it. Then let's try it.
Working on it.
So we want to say these are the business question that we are answering. We are answering the business
Working on it.
and we are going to be done soon. So let's wait in a jiffy. Then We are done with that. Then we'll put this up. No. So I'm having this, then I'm going to have our growth status on it. Now you can see we have this because we have May 2023. Let's go to June. You can see we are growing. Then let's start from January. You can see we have a stable. February, we have a stable. March, we are losing. You can see April, we have a stable. Then we are losing again. Then we are growing. Then we are losing. So this is how we are going to communicate our findings to the executive. So with this, the executive will be able to know, definitely with this, we are growing, we are losing, or probably the growth is stable. Then the last but not the least, we are going to have a line chart. For the line chart, I'm going to, I wanted to do something, but notwithstanding, let me just try to pick a line chart here. So that is going to be the last, but not the least, for the executive overview. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to bring this down as well a bit, because we have not really fully answered the business question. So let me put this one down here. I'm still going to connect them together, so don't worry about that. So we are going to have this. Then we are going to have this in between. So now, the line charts that we are going to use, we are going to have, first of all, we are going to have our total revenue. Before the total revenue, we are going to use our dates. And the date that we are going to use our month. So let's go to our date, and we are having our month. Then let's go to our total revenue. So that's the first thing that we do. We have our total revenue. Let's have our total revenue. You can see, because already we've already sorted this out. Then we go to our secondary assets. Then we are going to have, in our secondary assets, we are going to have our growth percentage month over month here. As you can see what we have here. Look at what we actually have. So before we move forward, I would like to design this. So let me just come to this. I go to here, and I'm going to, first of all, let me go to x-axis. I don't need the month name. Title. Let me remove it. Let me go to the y-axis. For the y-axis, I don't need both the value. I don't need both the title. This is our total revenue. This is our revenue growth month over month. As you can see what we have, 99%. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. So we are losing. Then the next thing we are going to do is maybe or maybe not, we should go to our tooltip. So when we go to our tooltip, let's go down. Let's move down to our tooltip. Okay, let me come back here. Okay, now we'll go down. So we'll come back here. So we go to our tooltips, then we are going to have our growth status in our tooltip. So let's look at it. You can see growing. You can see losing. You can see growing, losing, growing, losing, 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 growing, 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 growing. So you see what we have when you filter right. Then we go to back here. Then we are going to have the title. First of all, let's go to the title. And then we are going to let's take away total revenue. Let's take away total. So we are going to have revenue growth, and the growth status by month. So, and I'm going to make it center. So I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to change anything about it. I'm going to leave this as well. Then I'm going to get a color. Let me go to the background. Title. Then I'm going to use this. It's like we're having different color with this. Let me go back. Let me see. Not the same thing. Almost about to. I think no. Then I will go back to the color here, text color. Then I'm going to make it white. So I already have this. Then I'm going to make it a bit longer. I'm going to make it a bit longer. So I'm going to put it in between this. This. So probably a bit longer here. And we have this. Now, then I go back to the value. Then go back to general. Let me go back to the visual and let me go to the data label. So you can see what we are having. Putting it already. So we can see merely reading at it 0 points. So when you hover it, you see what we have. I think this is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So we have a 0.2 million here. We have a 0.93 million. So in order for us to make it more accurate, I think let's go to 1 point. This is going to give us 30%, 93 million. So I want us to go back to our data label. Position can be anything. So I want us to go to the value. I want us to display units. I want us to make it none. So this gives us the actual number we want to read. None. None. Then we'll go back to our total revenue here. Then we are going to make it 0. Then we are going to OK it.
Working on it.
So we go back here. So we can have a readable. So let's also see this and let's go.
Working on it.
So let's wait a bit. Please, if you really enjoyed this video, please subscribe, please comment, please watch, please like. This will encourage us to do more of this. You could see the hours we spend teaching so many people that are interested in learning Power BI dashboard. If you are new to this video, this is Pizza Analytics, and thank you for joining. So we're almost rounding up. So I just want to check something. This we have. Let me try to make it 0 first, and let me see what we are going to have.
Working on it.
So we have 78%.
Working on it.
So I think that is actually good. Then let's finish. So everything works super. 38.5 growth month by month. So we'll go to our growth month by month also. Then we're going to make it 0. So we're going to
working on it
as well. So you can see, merely looking at it, we have minus 22.
Working on it.
We have 34%, 18%. So that is good. So 4% growth. Or probably this, let's make it 1.
Working on it.
I think that's actually makes sense then.
Working on it.
So already we have that. Then I'm going to put something here. I'm just going to put, let me go back here. Let me go to, no, let me go back here. Let me go to effects. I can see the effect here. And let me go to the shadow. That's the only thing we need to put here. So the executive can just over it. Then I'm going to reduce this number to million. I think that will make it more sense. Just that it depends on what the executive want to say. So by moving it, we can see we are growing, we are reducing. So now to answer the business question, we'll come here. I'm not going to start it afresh. I'm just going to copy this. Then I'm going to bring it down here. Let's see. Does it work? It doesn't work. So I'm going to have this here. Yeah, this work. So now we've answered the business question. The business show mixed performance with fluctuation in growth driven by, you can see, changes in revenue, trends, profitability, and delivery efficiency. So with this, the stakeholder can just say, okay, number one, the business question is the business growing or decline, and is performance healthy? Looking at this, okay, we have total revenue 11 million, 3% growth. I'm going to combine this together so that's not a problem. Then the executive can just look at this and say, okay, what is happening? Is the business growing or declining, and is performance healthy? We can say the business showing mixed performance with fluctuation in growth driven by changes in revenue trends, profitability, and delivery efficiency. So this, the last thing that we are going to do is, anytime we filter this, we don't want it to move. We don't want it to move. So in this, we will go to model. Then when you go to manage relationship, then from there probably we can just leave this for now. Then probably in the next video, we do it by the time we complete the main one. So when we come back here again, you can see we have our total revenue, which is this. Then because in January there is no what we call our month over month. Then we go to February. You can see 2%. revenue growth 2%. So you can see -8. Wow. Then you can look at it. What happened? Total revenue, this revenue growth percentage month over month -8. We are losing. You can see as well. Stable. Looking at it. Okay, what's happening? How we are stable in the month of April 2023. Then we can see we are losing again. What's happening? Why are we losing? This is where we look into. Then the second dashboard is going to operation performance. So we look into the operation performance. Let me just put this one here for the second dashboard that we are going to be looking at. Operations performance. So that is going to be the next dashboard that we are going to build. So the first KPI that we are going to be looking at, average delivery rate. We are going to know how many days does it take us to deliver our products, how many days does it take us to deliver our goods. So this is the first thing we are going
working on it.
That we are going to be looking at. So we are going to take the first one, and the first one is going to be, as I've said, average delivery delay. So we are taking the first one and we are having our average delivery delay. So we are having equal to, then we are going to be calculating our average, whereby we have average here. Then we can just click on this. Then you can see just a column. Then what is our column? Our column is going to be the delay days. So let's look for the delay days, and we are going to calculate our average delay. Where is our delay days? Where is our delay days? I hope on the dates. So we have our delay days here. So we are calculating the average. Then we have
working on it.
So already we've gotten our average delay days. Then we are going to have a KPIs to test it if actually what we have is accurate. Then we are going to pick our average delay days. We are going to see what actually, you can see we have 14.25 days. So we are going to, because we don't have half days, so we are going to be calculating it in a full day. So we are going to be using a 0 instead of using auto. So we are going to have a
working on it
14 days. That should be the normal delivery days. So you can see we have our normal delivery days to be 14 days. So this is actually nice. Then the next KPIs that we are going to be looking at is on-time delivery rates, because these are the questions they need. How efficiently are we executing the supply chain? And this is part of the question that we need to answer. So the second one is going to be on-time delivery rate in percentage. So we can remove this and go back to our mail and get another mail.
Working on it.
In this case, we are going to be calculating the delay. So this will give us how long we will be able to meet our delivery. Do we deliver our products to the customer on time, or do we just deliver it on probably the way we like? So these are the things that they would like to see. So we are having on time delivery, on-time delivery rates in percentage. Then we are having, then this time around we are going to divide. So we are going to use the divide formula. So we are going to have our divide, and you may ask me, what are we dividing? Then we're also going to use calculate. So first of all, we are going to divide, then we are going to also use calculate. So what are we going to calculate? We are going to calculate the contours, the supply, the total data set. So that is what we are going to calculate. So we are going to calculate You can see we have our expression, then we have our filter. What is our expression? Our expression is going to give us the total data that we have. So we are going to have our supply chain, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm using. So in this case, we're going to have our growth, the entire growth. So that is what we are going to have. We are going to have our entire table. So we look for the entire table, and our table is growth tracker. So from the growth tracker, that is where we are going to find. We are not looking for growth status. We are looking for the growth, the full table. So we have the expression, then we have our growth tracker. So that is what we are going to use. So we are going to also use what we call count rows. So because we are going to count the total rows that we have in our table, so we look for count rows. Can we find count rows in our table? We calculate, then we have count rows. Count rows. So we have count rows now. Then we are going to count rows of the entire supply chain dataset. Then after that, then we are now going to do what? Then we are going to now divide. So already we have our count row supply chain. Then we are going to have our delay. Remember we said we have our expression. This is the expression, which is the total, which is our data set. Then we have our filter. Then our filter is going to give us, what are we going to have in our filter? We are still going to have the delay. So we are going to have the growth, then we are going to have our delay when it is less than equal to 2. When it's less than equal to 2, so that means we are having a good one. So if our delay is less than equal to 2, then we are going to count our supply chain. So after this formula, I'm going to explain the inch row. Then we now have count rows. We have count rows. Then we have the supply chain. Then we have our growth track dataset column. So this is just how we need. Then we close it. I think that should solve. No, not count blank. There should be count rows. This is count rows. So now what are we trying to achieve here? Now we are looking for delivery rate, our on-time delivery rate. And to get our on-time delivery, first of all, we are saying we want to divide. Before we even divide, we want to calculate the entire rows, everything in our data sets, because we want to know each of what we actually have there. Then we want to divide this after we have already counted this row. After we calculate it, we count this row. We want to divide it by our delivery day. So we want to know if our delivery delay is less than 2. So if it is less than 2, then we want to calculate the total tracker. So let me have this and let's see what we are
Working on it.
having in our KPIs. And let me put this down and see what we're having in our delivery time rates. And let me put this in a card. So you can see we're having, so we have to change this to percentage because we are calculating the percentage.
Working on it.
So let's wait and see. So we have 99.9%. We want to make this 0. So let's go back to it and make this 0. and let's click enter.
Working on it.
So as you can see, we are having 10%, though we have not applied filter, because when we apply filter, we are going to know what it takes for each month. So on a general note, we are having 10% on time delivery rate. 10%, and we are looking for something less than 2%. So if our on time delivery rate is higher than, probably if it is less than 10%, I think we are okay. So let's go back to the third one. And the third one that we are going to be using is we want to see our fulfillment rates. How often do we fulfill our customer demand? So when the customer asks for a particular thing, how often do we do this? So we can also use this same method, but in this case, let me just go back to a new one, a new measure. Then we
Working on it.
calculate our order fulfillment rate. How often are we be able to meet up with the customer demand? What are the percentage of our fulfillment rate that we are able to meet up? Probably in a week, when a customer order for probably 100 products, are we able to deliver the 100, or we are able to deliver 50 or 80 or 70? This is what they want to know. How efficiently are we executing the supply chain? Then we have our order fulfillment. In the case of the order fulfillment, so we have our order fulfillment rate. Fulfillment rate. So this is also going to be in a percentage. Then we are going to have equal to, then we are going to also divide as usual. Then we are going to divide. Then we are also going to calculate as what we did. Then we're also going to calculate as well. Then we're also going to count rows. So we are using the same formula but in a different way this time around. So we are going to count rows. So here we're going to count our rows. Then we show that we're going to count. We are counting the entire table data set. So we are counting the rows of what we have in our entire data set. Then we are now going to look for the status, which is going to be the delivery, so we are going to look for the growth. Let's look for delivery status. We look for delivery status here. So we have our delivery status, and we want to look for where delivery status is equal to delivered. So that is what we actually need, where our delivery status is equal to delivered. So this will give us our fulfillment rate. So already we have this covered. Then we can just cover this up. Then we now do what again? Then we count rows, because we are dividing everything we have in this with what we are going to have. So to be more safer, let me bring this down. And then let me indent it a bit. So let me now go back to count these rows. Then I'm going to count rows now because we want to divide. So count rows. Then we are going to have our growth tracker. So data set. So we've already covered everything that we need. Then we have tracker data sets, not count blank, count rows. So we have count rows. So first of all, let's go back to the first one. We have our divide. If I'm taking this away, let's just say I'm taking this entire things away now. You can see we are having our divide. Let me just put it as divide. We are looking for the numerator. We are looking for denominator. Then we are looking for alternative result. So what are we trying to achieve? So that is the first of all that we have as divide. So divide gives us the numerator. Then also we have the denominator. Now, what is our numerator? We are looking for our numerator first before we got our denominator. So our numerator is going to be, we want to calculate now. So remember now, this is where we got another one. So just to make the formula more simpler, so I have to go to this route. So we have our divide. We have our calculate. So what's our calculate talking about? What do you want to calculate? Expression. What is the expression that we want to calculate? Remember our divide. Our expression now is our numerator, because our divide is asking for numerator first, then denominator. So our calculate now is our numerator. So you understand it now. Then in our calculate, we are looking for an expression. What expression? What do we want to calculate? We want to calculate the count rows. Then now we got this again. Then we move down. Then we move down to count rows. And that count rows now is going to be our expression for the calculate. So we have this now. You can see in our calculate, what do we want to calculate? We want to calculate the entire table, which is our growth data set. So we have this. So that is our expression for the calculate. You can see we already met with our expression now. Then we are looking for the filter. What do we want to filter out in this our calculation? We want to filter what we call the status. So we have our growth. We have our growth. Let's look for the growth status. Then we look for the growth. We have our growth status. That is our filter. And you can see now where we now have it, where our delivery, where our status is go towards delivered. So that is what we are doing. Then we have this completed already. So already we have, you can see, then what is our denominator now? So we've already made up with the entire numerator. You can see it changed to gray. Then now it's now asking for denominator. So what is our denominator now? Our denominator is we want to count rows. So let's go to count rows. So we want to count rows of what? Our entire data set. So this. So you can see we've already made up with everything. So already we've already completed what we are expected. So we can cover it up. So you can see. So we've met up with our numerator. Everything is done already. So we don't have anything left. So I'm just trying to explain the formula one after the other so that we understand better. So we have this done already. Then
Working on it.
Then we are going to put them in KPIs now. So I'm going to try it first to see where is our fulfillment rate. Order fulfillment rate. This is order fulfillment rate. Then we are having our order fulfillment rate. Let me put it in a card. Then we have 0.8. So that means we are not meeting up to our expectation. Let me put this in percentage.
Working on it.
That means we are able to meet up with just 48 point something. So in this case, I'm going to use just 1. So because sometimes
Working on it.
we meet up to 48 point something %, which is normal. So already we've already done this. So we are not doing well here because probably the order for 100, we are able to meet up with 48.4. Definitely something is wrong. Then we have to just let them know. So we are done with this. Then I'm going to copy the KPIs here that I used so that I won't be able to design them from the beginning again. So we have this. Then I'm going to paste it here, one after the other. So the first one is this, and this is going to be delivery day. Average delivery day, then we are going to have the average delivery day. Let me see. Is this working or not? So, average delivery day. So why this not working? So why is this not working? Okay, let me bring this down. So we have this. We have this. Then we have this. So thank you. So we can have this back here. So we have our average delivery date. So this is good. 14. Then I can just remove this. Then I'm going to have on time. Then I'm going to have this. Then I'm going to have what we call our fulfillment. Order fulfillment. So you can see now. So we are answering the question little by little. So first of all, we are asking how efficiently are we executing the supply chain. Then we are able to show them our average delivery day is 14 days, which doesn't really take a while. When we consider some other companies like Amazon or whatever, we know that they take like 3 or 4 days. So we know on-time delivery rate, we are having 10%. Already we have not applied filter. So when we apply filter to this, we'll be able to actually see into it better. But for now, looking at this, we can know that we are not doing well. Then we have our fulfillment rate, which is very poor. Our fulfillment rate is 48.8 on average. Now, we are talking about on average rate. So, to really get an insight into this, so we are going to have our first slicer. So, we are going to have our filter. And in this, so this will give us an insight into it now, because this will actually help us. So let me see if we can actually, yeah, we can use the same dates. So I'm having this here. Then let's look into it. First of all, in January, we are having 14 days on time, delivery rate 6%, very poor. Then fulfillment rate 41.2%, still poor. In February, you can see 10, 7%, 42%. Then we're having 13, wow, 14, 31. Then we are having, so there's no delivery on this day. So that is why we are having empty. So we didn't deliver anything. Probably this fall on Saturdays, or probably on Sundays. So we are having fulfillment 50%. Somehow delivery not good. So we have our average 20%, 55%. Our fulfillment rate I think is improving. Then we are moving a bit, 47 now. So we are having this. So let's go to 2024 November. You can see we are having 46% on time delivery rate is increasing, but delivery delay. Then we are having no delay. So on December 24, probably there was no delivery because of half working day. So, and then we won't be able to judge this now. Do you know why we can't judge this now? Because we don't actually know if this is true here, probably true land. So we are going to look into this vividly. So let's get our work safe.
Working on it. Working on it.
Work safe. So the next thing we are going to look at our total cost by warehouse. So we want to see our total costs by warehouse. So already we have our total cost here. Then I'm going to copy something from here because I wouldn't want to design afresh. So I'm going to have this and I'm going to put it here. So no problem. So we are going to have what we call our total cost. Let me move this up a bit. And because already we have not fully answered the business question, so we are not going to put it there yet. So we have this. Then we are going to have this. Then our warehouse. Then I can remove this. I can remove this. I only need the design. Then what we're going to look at, we are going to look at the warehouse. So we go to our data set and we look for our warehouse. So we have our warehouse. Then we are going to look for our total cost. Then we have our total cost. Now we are going to do something here. Let's see what we're going to have from here. Let me put this here, total cost by warehouse. Now, what is our total cost? Because by showing this alone, does it actually make any sense? Because we'll be saying, oh, let me try to reduce this number or expand this a bit. Let me expand this a bit. Okay, this is fine now. Now, we can see we have our total cost by warehouse. We can see warehouse 1, our total cost is 529,918.55, which is 21.91%. But if I'm the manager, I'm going to ask, what is the total cost? Because already we can't find the total cost here. So how will I know what the total cost is? How will I know what percentage each is taking? Do you know what we're going to do now? Then we are going to have a format. You know, as I said I wouldn't want to design everything from the beginning, so I would like to copy. So already I have this with me. Then I'm going to put on fields. Then I'm going to take our total cost. Then I'm going to expand it a bit. So our total cost is 2.42 million. That is super. Then I'm going to take this. Then I'm going to insert this here. So looking at this, you can see we've already passed some message across. We have our total cost by warehouse. This is our warehouse, and this is the total cost. So now we can easily say, okay, in January 2024, probably let me go to 2024 now, from January 2024. January 2024, what is our total cost? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to expand it a bit. So you can see we have our total cost is 90.33 thousand. Then we can see that warehouse 1 takes 60% of the total cost. So we're spending much on warehouse 1. Then we look for February, the same warehouse 1, 65%. Then we still have to expand this a bit. So then we look for March, the same warehouse 1, definitely. We look for April, the same warehouse 1. So definitely that means there's something unique about this warehouse 1. Then we look for, by the time we go to May, warehouse 3 has the highest cost. So these are what we are going to be looking into, and they are going to be finding, okay, what can we do about it? What products does each warehouse hold? So this will make us to be able to say, okay, let's see how to manage the efficiency. Then the next one that we are going to look at is order status by month. Remember we said we want to look at, the business question is, how efficiently are we executing the supply chain? You understand? So when we are talking about that, how efficiently are we executing the supply chain, then definitely we have to answer some question. And in this case, we have our order by month. First of all, we have our month. So let's go to our calendar, our date. We have our month. No. So we have this. So we go to our month. Who's holding this month here? Okay, we have our month here. Then we are going to have our order status. Let's go here. So we have our order status by month. Then what are we going to do next? Then we are going to have our count of order. That means I have not really done that. So we're going to create another KPIs. They're going to give us the count of orders. So we go to our mail. Then we are going to have a numeric. Going to be
Working on it. Working on it.
Orders. So we have our count of orders, or we can just make it total order. Let's just make it total order. And we're going to have count. So in this, we are not using discrete count, we are just going to use count. So we're going to have our ID. Let's look for our order ID. So we have our order ID. So that's what we're going to use for our count of order. Then I'm going to hit enter.
Working on it. Working on it.
Then we are going to insert this into this. So we have our total order. And let's see what we are going to have. So you can see for each month, this is cancelled, this is delivered, this is pending. So this gives us an insight into, let's just go to December. We have not applied the filter. So when we go to December, this December might be for December of any year. So another thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to bring it down. Then I'm going to make this year. So this is going to stand as the year. Then I'm going to remove months. I'm going to have the year. So we only have 2 years 2024, and which is good. So let's go to 2023 now. You can see this helps a lot. So we look into January 2023. We have order account, we have cancelled, total order, we have 6, we have this 7, total order, we have 4, total order. We're having 2 total order, 2 total order, 2 total order. Total order is 1, 2. Let me go back to this. And let me check what might be going on. Count of order. Count of order should be 1. Delivered there. So we are having 2. Total order. While we're having status here. Month. Let me remove this. And let me use this back. Yeah. So everything's fine now. So you can see we have cancelled, we have delivered, we have pending for each year. So, and I'm going to name this back to, instead of month year, I'm going to make this year. So let's go to slash titled, then I'm going to have this as year. So we are answering the question step by step. Let's get our work here.
Working on it. So working on it.
Put our data, but I think it will be too crowded, so we can just leave it a bit like this and not adding anything into it, because to do that we just have to merely, let's say 2024, and let's go to January 2024. You can see already, so this already solved the problem. So we are done with that already. So we go to the next one. Please, if you find this video interesting, please, if you find this video useful, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please watch, please share. This will encourage me to do more. Then the next thing we are going to look at is average delivery by transport mode, because what they are really concerned about is how efficiently are we executing this supply chain. Then we are going to go to the next chart. Then we are going to have what we call our So this is somehow, so I'm going to reduce a bit up, a bit up. Then I'm going to have this a bit down. So this should be moving up a bit. Yeah, this can be here. Then we have some business question to answer. This can be up a bit. This can be up a bit. This can be up a bit. And we can also put some gaps here. Put some gaps here. And also we have this already. Then we can just move this a bit up. This can also stay here. Then we use fields. So what do you want to see? You want to see our average delivery. Average delivery delay by transport mode. So we have our average delivery. Then by our transport mode, let's go to transport mode. So then we can say inside into we have air, we have sea, we have rail, then we have road. So road takes 13 days delay, days. Rail takes about 14 days. Sea takes about 15 days. Air takes about 15 days. I think it depends on the product that it carries. So we also have to look into that product as well. So we have this. Then let's go to 2024 now and let's see what happened in 2023. You can see it changes. Road is 12, C is 14, air is 15. You can see. Then when we go to 2024, you can see we're having 30. So things actually change. But this gives an insight into actually what is actually happening. Then let's move this up a bit. We are going to the final one. Let me remove the filter from here. So we have everything back. Then we are going to answer the last question now. We are going to, let me make sure this aligns very well. Then we're having the last one, the last but not the least. As I've said, I wouldn't want to design it from the beginning. So some of you might want to say, how did I make this design? Please, if you're interested on how I designed this, just let me know. I can just make a video on it and show you. Then we have this a bit, then we have fields. Then the next thing we want to look at, average delivery by supplier. So how long does it take? So if we could see, these are here, sea, rail, land, road. So who are our suppliers? So how long does it take? So we'll go back to our average delivery. Our average delivery, then we'll look for our supplier. So we have 3 suppliers, X, Y, Z. So these are our suppliers. So average delivery delay by suppliers. Then we are going to back to our filter. Then we're going to check the filter for 2023. So we are saying every one of them is taking 14 days. Then for 2024, every one of them is taking 14. So maximum of 14 days. So I think they are not really bad. So we'll look into this now. Then we'll look into inch days. So let's look. You can see, this is where the insight comes in. You can see the insight perfectly that suppliers Y takes 17 days, suppliers Z takes 16 days, suppliers X taking 14 days, 2 rail 22, C 17, AM, you can see we have 15 road. Then when we look for February, you can see we are seeing a deep insight 1917 level. So you can see 23. So you can see that most of the problem I think is coming from supplier Y. So let's go to let's go for one more. So you can see, oh, it doesn't really. So every one of them is, I think they are guilty of this. So then the last thing we are going to do before we call it a day, let's get our work saved. First of all, let's save our work. Let's save our work. So we can easily provide these insights into the operation department and for them to have a look into it. So they'll be able to call probably the supplier in order and tell them you are delaying this work, you are delaying our, so you have to get it done fast. So let me just put this up a bit. Okay, this should be okay, like this. Then the next thing we are going to do, which is going to be the last for this part 2. Then the next thing I will talk about the part 3, which is going to be the part 3 is going to supplier and growth insight. Then this is the business question. Remember, this is the answer to the business. Now, business questions. How efficiently are we executing the supply chain? Then we are able to answer operation efficiencies is decline, driven by delays, transport performance, and order completion rate. We've answered the question. This is what the operation department want to see. This is what the operation manager want to see. Let me remove this back to the normal something. This is what the operation manager want to see. You can see operation efficiency is decline, driven by what? Delay. You can see 14 days. Transport performance. Our transport performance are very poor, you understand. And order completion rate. Our order completion rate is very low. You can see our fulfillment rate, our delivery rate is very poor. So what should we do? Then we tell them they have to call them in order, they have to warn them. So please, if you enjoyed this video, my name is Peter Analytics, please subscribe. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Please like, please watch, please comment. Please also tell someone about this channel so that it grows. Then we are going to the third one, but not today. So we'll be looking at the third one. And the third one is going to be about the supply and the geography insight. Already we've seen into the supply. Already we've seen part of the supply. We see what is actually going on. Then we are going to, so supplier and the geography insight. So which country, already now we don't, in this, we don't know which country is really bringing about a delay. But we know that we have some delays through here, we have some delay through sea, we have some delay through rail, we have some delay through road, we have some delay. So we are going to be looking at supply and geography insight, exactly where this problem are coming from. We'll be starting today. Business question, where are problem coming from? As I've said, we'll be doing this from the beginning. Where are problem coming from? And we'll be showing it one after the other, where our problem was coming from. So that is what we are going to be doing. Let me remove this back to where it was. Then I'm going to move this away from here. So since we already have this, so this way move so that this will not really distract us. Then we start from the onset, from the beginning. And we have the first one is here. We don't actually need the KPIs. We don't have to do any KPIs, but we still have to create some measures, as you've known, because without the measures, we will not be able to actually analyze something. So the first one we go to is we are going to answer the business question, starting from the country. We want to see which country do we actually have delays from. So we are going to be picking our map. We are going to be picking our map, and we are going to be using this map. So that is the first one that we are going to be using. So we have this map here. And for you to know, because I'm going to, instead of me to redesigning it from the beginning, as I've said, I'm just going to pick this and I'm going to make it here. So I have this. You can see this is not working. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Then I'm going to bring it back to this. So we have our map here. This is our map. Now, remember the question says supplier and geography insight. So we are looking from the supplier side and from the geography side, where are these problems actually coming from? So now what we're doing now is we are digging deep now, from the executive to the operation performance. I think I have to name this. So please permit me. Let me just copy from this and let me name this properly, not page one. Let me name this. This is our. So we have this now. So as we said, so we started from this. We move to this, which is the part 2. Then we move to this, which is the part 3. Then now we want to start answering the question from the suppliers and from the geography inside, which is from the country, the region. So the first thing we are going to pick our country from here. So already we have our country. I hope we have our country. So we have our country. So we click on our country. So this is the country. Already we have those countries here. You can see we have North America, we have Europe, we have Asia. These are majorly where our businesses are coming from. Then the next thing we are going to take is our average delivery, because we just want to know what is happening. So you can see the bubble. In the North America, you can say countries US, average delivery delay is 15 days. Then we have Europe, then average delivery days is 14. So it takes us averagely 14 days to deliver to any country in Europe, and most especially in Germany. Then we have Asia now. It takes us 14 days also to deliver to China, and it takes us 14 days also to deliver to India, probably because China and India, maybe because they are closer, probably that is the major reason that we are having just a thing. Then the next thing that we are going to do now, already we have our everything bubble, everything, the bubble already showing, but we want to do something. And what are these things that we are going to do? We want to see the total revenue generating from this country. Despite the fact we have some delays from there, then we also have to see the inside. So we pick our total revenue and we take it to our bubble. So this should not be 2 tips. So this should not be, our bubble should be, this should be the 2 tips. We'll put this one here. So we take our total revenue to our bubble. So you can see we have a bigger one now. So you can see. So we are looking at the country, we are looking at the revenue generated, then we are looking at average delay. So when we remove this average delay from the 2 tips, let me remove this. We're only going to have country with the amount, but we want to dig deep where our problem coming from. Despite the fact we're having delay from those countries, what do we actually generated from there? So we're putting our average delivery date to this. So you can see we have Germany, we have this amount total revenue, then we have 14 days, then we have North America, then we have US. So because I wouldn't want to redesign this from the beginning, so that was why I tried to do this. Then I'm coming back to this now. Then I'm going to pick the same thing, which is going to be our country. I'm going to pick the country. So we have the country. Then I'm going to pick what we call our total revenue, which I'm going to put in the bubble. So you can see. Then I'm going to have what we call our average delivery and the 2 tips. So you can see. So the only thing difference from here is the bubble, because this was increased. So, and we can just go to increase. So let's go to design this now. So I remove this and put this somewhere else. So let me put this one back. Then we'll go to our, let's come here. So we have our map settings already. So we don't have anything to set in the map, except we want to change the map. Probably if you decide to use, maybe we have road, you turn it to probably to area, or you wanted to use dark, or you wanted to use light. So it depends on what you actually want, or grayscale. It depends, or you use road. So this is road. So this is road. So that is actually what we need. So we come to bubble. In the bubble, we have auto. So we can choose data range. It depends on actually what you want. So it depends on how you want it. Then you put it, probably if you are using data range, you can see you are having a bit more smaller. So if you are using magnitude, you can see also, then you can as well. So you can see we are able to increase it. We are able to increase it. We are able to increase it, because the bigger it is the bigger the revenue. So you can see, I think I would prefer to also use this like this. So we'll be able to know, oh, this is 1,999,663. So you can see the bigger the bubble, the bigger the revenue. So we can have this as well. So we see our revenue coming from Germany, and we can see we're having 14 days. And in the North America, we are having 2 million. Let me see. In Europe, we are having 4 million. So in this, we have 2,206,083. So that is what we actually did here. Then we can also try to increase it a bit more. So this shows this is where our revenue is coming from. You can see we have larger revenue. So that is what we did there. And I'm going to be removing this now. So that is done already. So, and we're going to have this as total revenue and average delivery day, because we want to know where our problem coming from. So we can see in this, we still have 14 days because they are closed. It's showing there. And so we still have this. And they mean something is still coming from, we are still having delay 14. So you can see. Now, the next thing we are going to be looking at is order by status. So we want to know how many orders were delivered, how many orders were cancelled, how many orders were pending. So this also helps us to look into its number. Now we have seen our suppliers and we have seen our geography. So we're going to be picking the second one, which is order by status. I will actually want to see which of those orders were delivered, how many orders were delivered, how many orders were released. Then we come back to this, let's remove this. Then we are going to have our order. And what are we going to do with our order? We're going to have our count of order, which is total order. So we pick our total order first. We have our total order to be 461. Then we go to our status. Then we pick our status here. So you can see we have 223 delivered. We have pending order 159. Then we have cancelled order 79. Now, this cancel order, probably it was cancelled based on delay. Probably based on delay, because we can also dig deep to see which country actually canceled their order. And by the time we use apply filter, we'll be able to know out of this revenue that we are having, we'll be able to detect and say, okay, part of this were coming from this country, part of this were coming from this country, because the order were cancelled due to delay. So already we have our order status here, which is already sorted out. Then the next thing we are going to be looking at is the table. We are going to be looking at our supplier, our revenue, our delivery day, our on-time delivery, our cost, and our risk flag. So we are going to be looking at this one after the other. So this is what we call analyst level. So we bring this down here, and we are going to be putting this here. So we have this, and we're going to put
working on it.
So let's just wait a bit. And we're going to remove this. Now the first thing that we are going to have is our supplier. Then we go to our suppliers. We click on our supplier. As I've said, we have 3 suppliers. As you can see, we have supplier A, B, C, and Z complaint, supplier S complaint, supplier Y complaint, supplier Z complaint. So these are the name of the supplier. So we want to see what are the revenue generated from each supplier. What do we see? What do we generated from each supplier? So that means what revenue does each supplier give to us. Then we go to our total revenue. Then we're going to pick our total revenue. As we can see, supplier S have 5,308,902. Supplier Y has 2,669,000. Then supplier Z also has 2,901,000. So we can see supplier X give us the highest revenue. That is good. And the supplier followed by supplier Z, and lastly supplier Y. So despite the fact we are having delay from them, they still give us some reasonable revenue, because when you add this together, we are having our total revenue of 11 million. So we go back to our this. Now, the next question we are going to ask ourselves, delivery delay. Remember, in operation performance, we have some delivery delay, and we see how in suppliers have, this is averagely, but by the time we begin to filter by, let me go back here and pick 2023. You can see, let's wait a bit and see. You can see they all have 14, 14, 14 averagely, but by the time we begin to dig deep into deals, January 2020, I'm into more, January 2023, you can see we are having supplier 16, supplier Y, 16 deals in January 2023, supplier Z 15 days, supplier X 11 days. And when we come back to our suppliers, you can see these are the revenue. Supplier X gave us the total revenue. And when we come back to our operation, we can see by looking at it each month, you can see our supplier X have the lowest revenue. I'm talking about month by month now. When we go back to February, we want to see on average. On average, you can see supplier X still has the lowest revenue. I mean, the lowest delivery, which is still good. So we can see we have supplier X 13. So because it's giving us the highest revenue, and we are still having the delivery days by 13 compared to supplier Y and Z. So we go back to April. So you can see we are having supplier S is actually doing well. When we dig deep to performance, you understand, you can see supplier X is actually doing greatly for us. So when we decide to go to 20, so this is 2023, so we remove this back, and so we can just stop there and we'll go back to, so the average delivery. Now we are going to look at the average delivery, and that is where we're going to put our average delivery. Now we are having 14, 14, 14, but by the time we apply filter, we know it will be different, because when we use day and the month here. Then the next thing we're going to be looking at on time delivery, because we want to dig to supplier and geography inside. They want to see, okay, which country give us the best revenue, which suppliers give us the best revenue, where our problem coming from. These are the things that they just want to see from the supplier side. Now, so the next thing we are going to be looking at is we are going to be looking at the delivery, on time delivery. Then we'll click on our on time delivery. As you can see, supplier X have 9% on time delivery. Supplier Z have 12% on time delivery. We can't judge by this until we applied a filter. Probably before we move on, let me try to bring out a filter here that we can just apply. So this will give us an insight into the analysis properly. So we have this here, and I'm going to put this on this side, and let me bring this out here, and let me put from January now, 2023. You can see, so we don't have a record for supplier Y and Z. Then when we go to February, we don't have a record for supply X and Y, only have for Z 20%. And you can see in March, 9% is supply Y. So delivery on time rates, 9%, 14%, 25%. Then we go to, though we don't have a record for that, we have revenue generated. You can see we have 14, 13, 33, 33 for each on time delivery. So you can see delivery date. So when we look at average delivery delay, days, this is day. Please remember this is day. So we have 18 days, 16, 16. So then we move forward. Then we begin to see 33% on time delivery. So now the next thing we are going to be looking at is cost. Now, how much does it cost us? And remember, in this operational performance, we see how much it costs us for each warehouse for storing our goods. And let me remove this. I think this will stay on filter. Let me remove this. So, thank you. So you can see we have the amount it costs us for maintaining each warehouse. We have 3 warehouses, warehouse 1, warehouse 2, warehouse 3. And you can see the amount it costs us from having each warehouse on averagely. Now we come now to our cost. Now we want to look at the supplier cost. How much are we paying the suppliers? Then compared to how much are they generating for us? Now we go to our total cost. We have our total cost to be here. Let me click on this. So our total costs. And we can see. So this is our total cost. I'm going to, let me have this. Let me remove average. Let me just put it as, let me rename this. Rename this. Let me just put this. So.
Working on it.
So it can be a bit closer. On time delay. In days. So we have on time delivery. Or probably, then I'm just going to put it on delivery rate. Rename. So we have delivery rate.
Working on it.
So then we have our total cost. Now, this part, supply X, give us the X revenue. We also have a total cost, 1,222,995 points compared to this. So when we remove this from this, I think we are still gaining from supply X. So what we have to look at into is the revenue from supply Y and Z. And though they have a smaller total cost and their delivery delay is somehow high. So we'll look at it. So we'll look at that. Then the next thing we are going to be looking at is, I've said, our cost. Then we are going to be looking at what we call RIX. Our RIX flag. So we're going to be calculating what we call RIX flag. And how are we going to be doing that? How are we going to be calculating our RIX flag? We are going to be calculating our RIX flag that which of these actually give us a RIX. So in all this, how do we encounter RIX? Which one do you think that, oh, with this, we are going to have a RIX? So, you know, already we are looking at it now. Okay, we have total revenue, we have delivery day, we have delivery rate, we have total cost. Then we want to look at RIX flag. Then we go to mail. Then we're going to create a new mail.
Working on it.
To know that. So this will help us to give us an insight into if the problem is something we can deal with or the problem is something we can just overlook. So I'm going to bring this, okay, after this, I'm going to bring that one down. Then we are going to name it risk flag. And we have our risk flag to be, I have to change it to so okay, already have it. Oh no, sorry. I'm going to have, okay, now we are going to use what we call if. So I've said it anytime we are using a measure, read what is there. If our logical test. What is our logical test? Our logical test is going to be average delivery. So we are going to have our average delivery. Now, already we are done with our logical test. Then our result, if true, then our result, if it is false. This is if. Then we are having our, if our average delay, average day, this should be day, not just delay. So we are having as day. So please name it as day. I'm going to rename it as day there. So delivery day. So if our average delivery day is greater than 7, then what do we want? If it's greater than 7, what do we expect? We want to make it 1. If it's greater than 7, probably we're going to call it maybe we should call it high. You understand? Maybe we should call it high. We should call it high because and that is what it should be. So if our average delivery day is greater, and so we're going to make it high. We name it as high. So that's just it. And we are going to have a ring bell that's going to give us an alert. This is going to alert us because our delivery day they are more than so it's going to alert us. So we are going to have high risks. So otherwise, then we are going to have normal. I think that should make sense. Then we are going to have normal. And that will make sense. So and we're going to have this to stand as our normal. I'm going to copy this. Please, if you find this video useful, please find this interesting to you, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share, please watch. This will encourage me to do more of this, and there are so many people out there that need these skills in their new job, probably in their new role. This really help a lot. Now, what are we trying to do here? Then we close it back. So already we are done with that. What are we trying to do here? Now, we are saying if our average delivery day is greater than 7, so we don't want more than 7 days. And that 7 days might be Saturday inclusive or Sunday out of it. So if our average delivery day is greater than 7, high risk. If it is not greater than 7, then normal. So if it is true, remember what we are having when we use if. Our logical test is this. If it is true, high risk. If it is false, normal. So we are going to have this now.
Working on it.
And before I put the risks, I'm going to change this to average delivery day, not delay. So I'm coming back here and I'm going to make it average delivery day. So average delivery day.
Working on it.
So Then we are now going to have our X. Now, where's our X flag? This. Then we are going to click on our X flag. IREX. So you can see the delivery day is more than 7 days. So we're expected to deliver our goods in 7 days. The customer are expected to have their goods in 7 days. And the question we ask ourselves, does this 7 days include sea, land, air? But I know that sea will be excluded. You understand? Sea will be excluded. But I believe air, rail, and road will be included. So we go back to this. So we have our average delivery day. So we have, you can see what we are having now. So let me try to reduce this a bit. So we don't have any normal. Everything we are having, the IREX. So IREX. So you can see where the problem is coming from now, from the supplier. So we need where her problem coming from. Then we want to see supply insights, supply and geography insights. So already we've done that. So you can see, so the terrorist supplier that we have, they're IREX. So what should we do now is we are going to give it to them, and the operation team, the executive, the managers, they are going to look into it and say, okay, I think we have to call the supply in order and ask them, most especially people that supply through road, through air, and probably through rail, because through air will not take more than 3 days to be delivered. So, and we are given that 7 days. So we are saying if it is more than 7 days, probably custom clearance or whatever, if it is more than 7 days, it should be a IREX. You understand? So already we are having all our supplier as IREX. Now, we want to look at what are the category of products that we are even getting from each country. What are they buying from us? You know, we have not seen this. We know we are selling, but what we are selling, which country buys more, and which product? Because we have different products that we are selling, we have different category of products. But we want to see into this. Which country actually really buys our, we have electronics, we have hardware, we have accessory. Probably let me just try to put some of our products here so that we actually see our category, our product category. Let me just pick one. We have our product category here. So we have accessory, we have electronics, we have hardware. Now, if we are having that, if we bring it into product type, let me just try to click on this product. You can see we break it further. Hardware, gadget sale, electronics, we get B, electronics, we get A, electronics 2D. So we have them in each product. You understand? So this is how we have our products. This is we have our categories. So these are the two things that I think we can look into. So from there, we don't have to. So I'm going to remove this back. Already we've seen the category of product that we have. Then we've seen our products that we are having. So I'm going to remove this because we don't actually need it. What we actually need is total revenue by category and country. We want to see category, we want to see the revenue, and we want to see the country that this is coming from, because a supplier and the geography insight and also the business question is where our problem coming from. So we know now our problem is coming from our supplier, not from the country. Now, because we have IREX. Now we go to the first one, which we are going to pick. It's going to be our category. So we are picking our category first. So we're having our category of products. Probably let me remove it back. Okay. We're having our category of products. Then we're having our status. Let me check it back. We're having category, we're having status, category at where country Germany, total revenue. So then we are having what we call, so we are using tree map already. So please, for this, you should know, once I click on this, we are using tree map. We're using tree map. This we are using table. So just, for this, I think we are using table for this. So you can see we have table. So for this, we are using a tree map. So we pick our country. So let's go to our country now. We have our country. Then the next thing that we're having is we have our country already. Then we go to our total revenue. Then we're having our total revenue. So this 8 map is actually different from the normal 8 map that you have. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to put this somewhere here. I'm going to pick another 8 map here. So for you to know how I actually got this. Then we'll go to this our 8 map and I'm going to pick it again. I'm going to pick category. I'm going to pick country. I'm going to pick our total revenue. So you see. So you see we are having it this way. And I decided to arrange it this way. Already you see we have the same header. We have accessory, hardware. We have countries scattered about. But in this case, I have the country for each product. Also here, we also have the country for each product. We know we have it here. So this is listed separately, like this, having this is listed in a straight line. Then you may ask me, how did I do this? Then we go to our heat map. Let me go to, okay. This will take us back to, let's come here and let's come to the layout. We have square field. Then let's make it to binary. And let's make it to alternating column row. You can see. So this is what I did. I use it in alternative column row. So instead of use it in square field. So when you leave this way, you have a square field, but when you change it to alternative column and row, so you have this. So you can see the difference now. So we can remove this. So this is what was done. So now we bring this down here. Remember something is, they are not just looking at where does the problem come from alone. They also want to see the insight into supplier and geography insight. Our country, the country we supply to, they want to see what is actually happening there. They also want to see where our problems are also coming from. Do we have problems in some countries not buying our products? That's the way they should. We still have some cancelled product here. And this cancelled product, we can easily track it from each country. So let's leave that and let's come back to what we are actually doing. Now we have our total revenue by category and country. You can see this already gave us electronics. We have Germany, 1,160,123. USA, 1 million. We have Indian, Naira, we have China. So when it comes to electronics, Germany is really buying our electronics. And when it comes to hardware, Germany is also buying our hardware. Yeah. And when it comes to Germany is the highest in our hardware, And when it comes to accessory, Germany is also the highest in our accessory. So it's our best customer. That's why you can see in Europe, we have the largest revenue, 4,092,030. Now, we've already seen the insight into it then. Can we now begin to look at into category? We want to see now. I'm picking this. And I'm breaking this down here as a filter. So don't worry. We are going to have this and I'm going to put category into it. Now we want to look at each category. I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to bring this down as well, and I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to bring this down here. So let me try to see. Now, let's look into. I would have loved to have year as well. So let me put this here and let me try to go back to, and let me pick year from here. You can see how the journey, how we're moving from the journey to where we moved to now. And we still have the last one. We have not necessarily seen the insights. So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to, the last one is going to be risks and the cost analysis. Now we're going to have this to be our year. So let me go to the date and I'm going to have the year to be this. So let me turn this to year, not category. Yeah, let me change the name. I'm changing the title to so we have the here. So this will help us to, so already we know this is insight. Then we have this. Let me pick the year first, and I'm making the year 2023. Then I'm picking each category. Now, accessory. In accessory, we have 17 cancelled. But from which country? We don't know yet. So you can see delivery. So we can actually have this back into this, because this we are having total revenue and the average delivery. So let's come to this. And we have our legend, we have our country. Yes, we have our latitude, we have bubble, we have our tool map, because already we have our delay 20. So if I decide to take our status, let me see if our status can. So you can see we are having delivered. Delivery, you can see pending, then you can see cancelled. So then the total revenue. So you can see what we're having. You can see what we're having pending. These are the status pending. But how much we are pending, we have to look into it. So delivery. So we are not going to put this status into legend. So we are removing it. So we're just going to deliver it that way. So you can see we are having our cancelled, we are having our delivery date, we're having our delivery date. This is 12. this is 14, this is 12, this is 15. So delivering to China is 15. So then we now begin to look at this is 23 each day. You can see we have this total revenue. So sometimes we have a bigger revenue. In some months, average delivery day, you can see this is 4 days. So this is 19, and the money was small, 24,000. So you can see 14 days, 47. So you can see 12 delivery day. So you can see we begin to see insight into it. India in February, we only delivered to India and it takes 8 days. So we can see cancelled 1, pending 1. So you can see. So we have insight into what we are actually looking for. 1 was pending, 1 was cancelled. Other status, you can see cancelled order, 1 pending. So you can see from India. So when we go to this, you can see we have delivered to cancel. So this gives us some insight into it. So you can see what we have in accessory because we are looking at accessory in general. So now the biggest question, let me go back this to, let me remove this. Now we have to now come to answer their business question. Then we bring this down here. Then we have this actually here, or putting this here. Initially, I don't actually need too much. I don't want it to be too crowded, but notwithstanding, as long as it answered the question, so I think we are fine. So we have this. Let me accessory. Let me move this from the accessory. So we have this already. We bring this down. We bring this down a bit, so we'll make it somehow closer. We bring this down. This can also be reduced a bit. So we have this. So we have this. So we can put the business question, business answered. So what I would say, this page isolates supply chain inefficiency geographically at the supplier's level. You can see, because they were asking us where our problem coming from. That is the question. Where our problem coming from? Even before an operation manager or whatever, or any manager, we looked into and begin to filter. The first thing is, what are we telling them? And this is what we are telling them. This page isolates supply chain inefficiency. You look at it. Why? Inefficiency geographically at the supplier's level. So we are having problem at the supplier's level. You can see where our problem coming from at the supplier's level. You understand? Helping identify high-risk vendors and region contributing to delay and increased cost. Wow. Region contributing to delay and what? An increased cost. We are able to tell them what they need to and what the answer they need to attend to. Once again, we have come to the end of this battery, supplier, and the geography insights. Then the next one is going